Canadian airlines are taking away flights to popular U.S. cities. This after many Canadian vacationers apparently are avoiding the U.S.
There was nobody there. There was nobody in my row. It was really shocking. I've never been on a flight like that.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media.
If you're planning to fly to the U.S. this summer, you might notice fewer flight options.
It's July 2025, and something unprecedented is happening across America. Major airports that should be packed with summer travelers are sitting eerily empty. We're not talking about a few canceled flights or weather delays. We're talking about a complete tourism collapse that's hitting the United States like a freight train. What you're about to hear will absolutely shock you. Over 3 million international tourists have quietly canceled their trips to America this year, and the ripple effects are devastating. 15 major U.S. airports are now operating at capacity levels, not seen since the darkest days of the pandemic. But this time, there's no virus to blame. The World Travel and Tourism Council just dropped a bombshell report revealing the U.S. economy is set to lose a staggering $12.50 billion in international traveler spending this year alone. But that's not all. Some experts are warning the actual losses could reach $18 billion by December. The numbers coming out of government agencies are mind-blowing. International travel to the U.S. plummeted 14% in March compared to last year. Canada led the exodus with a devastating 26% decline in overnight trips and a 14% drop in air travel. Western Europe isn't far behind, with a 17% drop in visits, the first decline since 2021. Tourism Economics projects a 9.4% decline in international visitor arrivals for 2025, translating into millions of empty hotel rooms and thousands of lost jobs. What makes this crisis even more shocking is that while America's tourism industry is collapsing, the rest of the world is thriving. Every other major tourist destination is seeing growth. But the United States is now the only country out of 184 tracked economies expected to see tourism revenue decline this year. The reason this is happening will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about America's place in the world. At JFK International Airport, once the crown jewel of American aviation, the international terminals now feel like a ghost town. Walking through, you'll see rows of empty seats where families from Europe once waited excitedly for their American adventures. The departure boards show canceled flight after canceled flight, especially from London, Paris, and Frankfurt. Routes that used to be packed year-round. A longtime JFK employee revealed, "I've worked here for 15 years, and I've never seen anything like this." Even during the 2008 financial crisis, we had people coming. Now, entire gates sit empty for hours. The once crowded airline lounges now offer unprecedented discounts just to get people in the door. British Airways has quietly reduced its JFK flights by 20%. Lufthansa has suspended weekend services on several routes, and Virgin Atlantic is considering cutting even more flights if the trend continues. It gets worse. Duty-free shops and restaurants, once buzzing with travelers, are closing early or reducing staff hours because there simply aren't enough customers. Meanwhile, at LAX, the supposed gateway to Hollywood dreams and California sunshine, a nightmare scenario is unfolding. International traffic has declined 25% in the first half of 2025, with Asian markets showing the steepest drops. Flights between Tokyo and LAX, once among the busiest trans-Pacific routes, have seen capacity reduced by over 40%. Korean Air suspended 3 weekly flights. Japan Airlines is flying with significantly reduced passenger loads. A Japanese tour operator explained, "Our clients are choosing Australia, New Zealand, even Europe, over Los Angeles because of safety concerns and rising costs." But listen to this. The real devastation is happening in the local economy. Hotels in Santa Monica, once charging premium rates for international guests, are now offering 50% discounts and still struggling to fill rooms. Rodeo Drive, once thriving with wealthy tourists, is seeing store after store reduce hours or shut down entirely. A luxury retailer shared, "Our international sales have dropped by 60% this year alone." Down in Orlando, home to Disney World and Universal Studios, the situation is being called an absolute catastrophe. International arrivals at Orlando International Airport have plummeted 35%, with European families leading the exodus. Disney World, once requiring months of advance reservations, now has same-day tickets available, something that hasn't happened since the pandemic. A UK travel agent revealed 70% of our Disney bookings for summer 2025 were canceled. Parents are telling me they'd rather go to Disneyland Paris or Japan than deal with the stress of traveling to Florida. Hotels in the Disney area reporting occupancy rates below 50% during what should be peak season. International charter flights have been canceled or suspended, and it's not just about Disney. It's about families no longer seeing America as a safe, welcoming destination. Miami International Airport, traditionally the gateway to Latin America, is in crisis. Visitors from Brazil and Argentina, once flocking to Miami for luxury shopping and beaches, have dropped by over 40%. Luxury shops in South Beach and Brickell are seeing record closures. High-end restaurants struggling to survive. A hotel manager revealed, "Our international bookings have dropped so much. We're considering converting entire floors into long-term rentals." LATAM and Avianca have reduced their Miami routes. The cruise industry, which depends on those international flyers, feeling the full impact. At Chicago O'Hare, one of America's busiest hubs, both international and domestic traffic are declining. Flight delays are up 18%. Customer satisfaction has plummeted. Airlines are cutting routes to smaller cities, making travel even harder for Americans. O'Hare's international terminal, whole sections sit empty for hours. Some airlines are even paying compensation to passengers because of the poor experience of connecting through the airport. But the crisis extends far beyond these hubs. Across America, 15 airports are now operating at crisis levels, with traffic down 20-40% from previous years. Denver International, Phoenix Sky Harbor, Boston Logan, Seattle Tacoma, Las Vegas McCarran, Honolulu, Charlotte Douglas, all seeing devastating declines in international traffic. Why is this happening? It's not terrorism. It's not crime spikes. It's the day-to-day unpredictability that international travelers now associate with American cities. Random violence, aggressive panhandling, civil unrest, unstable infrastructure. A vacation to America that cost $4,000 in 2019 now costs over $7,000. And the experience is worse. Hotel prices doubled. Restaurant meals up 50%. Basic services like airport shuttles now luxury priced. Immigration wait times have tripled. International visitors now spend 2 to 3 hours just getting through customs. The economic devastation is just beginning. The hospitality industry could lose over 200,000 jobs by year's end. But most losses won't show up in unemployment stats. They're coming from reduced hours, quiet closures, and disappearing storefronts. High-end restaurants in major cities closing permanently. International tourists spend 3 and 4 times more than domestic visitors. And now they're gone. So, what does this mean for America's future? Tourism experts say this might not be a temporary dip, but a permanent shift in global travel patterns. Unlike past downturns, this isn't caused by war, virus, or recession. It's being driven by fundamental changes in how the world sees America. Most Americans have no idea this is happening. Domestic tourism is holding up, but international tourism is silently collapsing. And the effects will be felt everywhere. Cities and businesses that built their economies around global tourism are now facing existential threats. Some analysts believe this could be the beginning of the end for America's status as a global tourism superpower. Meanwhile, countries like Japan, South Korea, and France are investing heavily in tourism infrastructure and visitor experience. America is falling behind. The gap between what international travelers expect and what they experience in America is widening every year. So here's the question: can America recover? Or will this be remembered as the moment the United States lost its position as the world's premier destination? The answer will shape the future of millions of jobs, entire cities, and America's role in the global economy. What's happening where you live? Have you noticed signs of this tourism collapse? Because the data is clear, we are witnessing a fundamental shift in global travel, and America is on the losing side.